Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Ameera, in case you haven't heard of me, and I am Ameera of the Lapeef Network. Yes, that was redundant, I know. It's been a long day, guys, so do forgive me if I'm a little bit out of it. Today has been a long day. So, right, the statement that I wanted to talk to you all about today is, it goes like this. Men lie through the words, using words. Women lie using their looks. Now, I know what the majority of people are thinking. Well, I'm going to assume what the majority of people are thinking when I say that. Because when we think men lie through words, women lie through their looks, we think about things like makeup, hair, body shapers. These are ways that women lie through our looks, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into it because there is a little bit more sinister, kind of a more sinister meaning behind what I'm saying, and I want you guys to tell me if you agree or disagree. So, I want to say welcome Alicia, welcome Grogu, hello Royally Unique, hi Mark, hi Lou Casley, hi Angelo, hi Lady, hi Matrix. I'm such a fob. Hi Larry, hi FO404 Tyler, hi Bonnie, and hi Men No Name. Hey guys, welcome in, and I hope you all had a great weekend. I did too, but it was kind of long and the weather is really crappy in my area, so I really like crappy weather, but I'm one of those people, guys, just really quick before we get into the topic. I don't know if you guys will agree with me, but I'm one of those people who loves rain, cloudy, gray weather. It's my favorite. It is my favorite, but it's been windy and Charlie, oh my God, he scared me so bad. Okay. So I guess we'll get into the topic now. I didn't write anything down, so this is just going to be us speaking, me from the top of my head, and hi Rila, hi Michael Quaid. This is going to be me just speaking from the top of my head and seeing your feedback. Hi Eugene, seeing your feedback and responding to you accordingly. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. Men lie using their words. Right. So this is basically self-explanatory. Men will lie using their words. I've noticed that mostly men don't lie using their actions because men, if they're going to do something, they typically are going to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never really seen men kind of try to fake their actions. It's not common anyway. We never know with today's men, the modern men, of course. But when you think about traditional men or men that are in their masculine frame, you don't see them lying through actions and trying to appear to be something that they're not. But a lot of times you will see men like boasting themselves with their words. And honestly, I think that could be a tactic to boost your own self-esteem. It could be, I don't know. Men, give me your responses in the comment because I like to hear what you have to say about that. And if you think it is the opposite way around, if you think that men lie through their actions and not their words. The meat of this is the women. Me, speaking as a woman, I'm a woman. As a woman, I have seen that women tend to lie through their looks. Now, I always like to do this with you guys. With every topic, we try to go as far back as we can when we're talking about behavior because nothing under the sun today is new. Everything has already happened before. So if you are smart, you will look to the past to see almost where our future is going. And if you look in the past, you see that women before, because the way we look was such an important part of our survival, there were women who would go to extremes, of course. Like, you guys remember, back in the day, women used to wear those corsets, yeah? They would wear those corsets and they would tie themselves so tight, it would change their whole figure. And you think, oh, okay, well, clearly that's not your real waistline. You're not really that curvy and, you know. But these are just ways that I'm talking about, like through makeup, through hair, through even the pitch of our voice, it just the way we seem, the way we look. Women have always been famous for doing this, by lying through our looks. Today's world, we've seen that this has turned into something Sinister. Now we have filters. Now even the technology helps us do this. It's not just us doing it to ourselves. Technology is doing it and aiding us in lying to everyone about what we look like. So, the more sinister part of this, now, I'll explain it to you this way. When we're talking about looks, I want to say sometimes when you're in a relationship, let's say you're in a relationship, yeah, the woman, there's something wrong with her inside and she wants to tell you, but she doesn't. She keeps on appearing like, oh, everything is okay, don't worry. She's lying to you through the way she looks. Like, you're confused. A lot of people are confused. Now, this is not just in relationships that this happens. This is in everyday life. Even our own mothers do this to us, where there's something deeply wrong and the way they look, you will never know. I wanted to bring this up because when you see men and we think about men, this is why I always look, I know women, I know you might hate me for saying this, but I see men as being more pure than women in a lot of ways. And I know the typical narrative is that women are seen as more pure and more gentle souls than men. I think the complete opposite. I know, and I know women hate when I say that because it's like, oh, you hate yourself, you're a woman, and you hate women. I don't hate women, guys. I don't hate women. I just want to be honest about what I see. We all know what we do as women. This is not a secret between us, but maybe to some of the men listening, it is. So, women, I want us to stop doing these things. I want us to stop lying through smiles and yeah, it's okay. And this is just, it's another way of using our femininity in a negative way. Do you know what I mean? So, like, think about all the times when, okay, now, okay, watch. So this is strange. So you guys know, like, okay, you guys know like kings and concubines, and if a king was trying to not go to war, but kind of have a conflict with another kingdom or what have you, you could send the women, right? You could send one of the women there as a spy, and you can put a woman in her element and she will just completely act like a Hollywood actress. And you're like, I didn't even know you could fake this so well. Women, we lie so well through our action, not our action, I'm sorry, through our looks, the way we look. Now, when we speak about men, I don't see this, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I just don't see it. Oh, okay, see, I knew it. Thank you, Alicia. I knew I wasn't the only one. This is something that women, I want you guys to admit it. This is a safe space, kind of, in a way. Admit it. Just admit it. Just be honest with yourself and everyone else. You're going to set your soul free. This is, oh my God, 404 said I'm a pick me. I know, but I want us to admit it. That's what I'm saying. Just let it loose. You're going to feel better in the morning after you just let out all of this truth and honesty and just let it flow through your body like an elixir, like a fountain of youth. Am I going too far? Okay. Guys, I just want us to be honest. And when I speak about this, I talk about men. The men, if you see them, if something is bothering them, either they won't speak about it at all, or they're going to confront the situation. That's what I see about men. I don't see them trying to act and trying to fool the other person into thinking everything is okay and waiting for the opportune moment to pounce on them like a lioness in the savannah. So yeah, you guys tell me what you see on that, because this is something that this was brought up to me, and this is the reason why I'm speaking about it now. It was brought up to me by my husband and by a few other people where we were just speaking about this, and I was like, you know what, this is a good topic to bring up with the Lapeef Network and see what everyone else thinks about this. Right, exactly. The Adam and Eve story is a perfect representation of this. You see how just so sneaky. I believe women were so sneaky, and men end up paying the consequences for what we do. Female energy says a lot of us women do not. Oh God, here we go. Female energy, we had a great stream last time, but today I guess we're back to fighting again. I know that there's women who don't do it as much, but it's natural in us to do it. Like, we cannot say what, even I've done it too, where you act like nothing is wrong and everything is okay, and it's not. And that's just something, I don't know, maybe that's kind of that passive aggressive nature in us that we just tend to do this. I don't know. And then when you talk about men lying, okay, because I see a lot of people are getting bothered about me talking about the women. Let's speak about the men. What do men lie about typically? When you see a man lying, what is he typically lying about? Typically, he's lying about either his accomplishments, what he's done in the past, what he's currently doing, maybe who he's currently with, and maybe the amount of money he has. Those are the things that men typically lie about. But in all actuality, you stay with a man long enough, he's going to show you the truth. He's not going to try to do his best to hide the fact that he's not a millionaire or that he's not 100,000 heir. Either way, he's going to be honest eventually and let you know. Women, I have seen that women will just keep it going and going and find another way to lie about it and another way to cover it up and another way to keep looking like the lie that we just said. Alicia said, how much he can lift. But see, those are things, those are like, how can I say this? This is lies about accomplishments, things that he feels that he could have done possibly, but didn't end up doing. You know what I mean? Those can even be, look, in my opinion, when men lie about those things, it's almost like speaking good energy into being. They call it manifesting, yeah? And I know that word is only for females, supposedly, but manifesting is like speaking good energy into your life, right? So when men do that and talk about like, oh, I did this or I did that, even though it's not true, I think that is one of the goals that he might have that, you know. Hi, Eric. Sarah says, people are equally capable of evil. Evil in men often results in total destruction of society. I disagree. Simply because, okay, when we see who causes more damage, right? You're talking about men ruining a society. If you want to speak about the real ruining of societies, let's talk about ruining the next generation coming up. That's the real ruining of a society. Typically, it's not the men that ruin the next generation coming up. Typically, it's the women. So if you have something to argue with me against that, I will hear you out, but that's what I see. Antoine said, who said manifesting is only for women? That's a universal power we all possess. Well, the reason I say that is because typically we see that women always speak about this whole manifestation. Like, if I just speak it, it's going to come. Most men don't tend to think that way. Like, if I speak it, it's going to come. Most men, from what you see, believe in hard work and knowing the struggle that it's going to take to get wherever they're trying to go. A lot of women think it's just going to fall on our laps. Hi, Vic King. So the other thing I wanted to speak to you all about is when you look in history, and this is another way that I looked at this. With women lying, you think about even pregnancies, you think about the overusing of makeup, the overusing of hair, like false hair, the overusing of body shaping, whether it be in the form of corsets. One second, guys. Whether it be in the form of wearing corsets, body shapers, you know, those like spankers. I don't remember the name, spank something. Even using filters, body shaping filters, all of the things that we use. And someone said something recently. Someone said, because of all the filters and all the technology that we have to change the way that we look on our phones, A lot of people are starting to feel like they're cuter than what they actually are. And they were talking about women. I don't mean to say people. I meant to say women. They're saying a lot of women are starting to think that they're cuter than what they actually are because the delusion of looking into the phone and seeing an image that's actually not your face. It's not really you. But when you look at the phone, it feels like it's you because you feel like you're looking into a mirror. So it's making a lot of people get this delusion, yeah? And the lie comes in, especially with women, it comes in when you're speaking with someone, you're sending them pictures of yourself, you're sending them these pictures that you think are beautiful of yourself because you took them with the filter. So you're like, oh, they're beautiful. But in the picture, you had clear skin. Maybe your skin was either darker or lighter than what you really are. Your face looks skinnier than what it actually is because those face filters, they make your like here look skinny. It makes you look like you have a V chin. Your eyes look bigger than what they actually are. Everything in the picture is not you. And then we send it and we're like, that's me. That's how I look. I don't see men doing that as much as women do. Hi, Black Superman. He says, hi, Lioness. Peace to the pride in the chat. Thank you. So, yeah, guys, I mean, this is something that I've seen. Oh, we have a super chat. Let me answer. Ameera, you're the best. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God, I know I just turned like really like an Asian teenager right there. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm completely off my square today, but forgive me. Let me see. Let me read your comments. Nicolas says, if you tell a lie long enough times, you will eventually begin to believe it. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. Do you want to know why I believe that? Well, actually, oh God, can I do this? I'm sorry, JR, just really quickly, let me say a small piece. I know he's going to get mad at me. He's going to start pulling his beard again. I'm sorry. Okay. So the reason I believe that if you tell a lie enough times, people will start to believe it. The only reason I believe this is because I am always watching political things and news events and all of this, and I've seen the media lie to us so many times to the point where people started believing things that aren't true. So the first time the people heard it, they knew it was absurd and it was a lie. But because the lie kept getting repeated day after day after day, people started believing it. So, yes, I do believe that can happen. I'm sorry, JR. Sorry. Summer says it's called a habitual liar. I don't know if I would go that far to say it's habitual because, like I said, with women, I think that's our easiest way to lie is to try to look like something that we're not. So even if we're angry, we're upset, but we don't want to look like it. So we completely change how we look on the outside so no one can see us as what we really are. Do you know what I mean? People holding things inside and changing the way they look outside to kind of divert people's attention to what's really going on somewhere else. And that's very toxic. And that's something that we're always doing. Eugene says, hi, Eugene. Thank you. He says, welcome, Ameera, to the Sisterhood of Femininity and Truth. I've already been a member of that group. Don't worry. Guys, so yeah, that's what I was thinking about, guys. So I don't know. Tell me your views on that because that's what I see. Matrix calls it a chronic liar. Matrix. Why I say Matrix? A chronic liar. I don't know. Because if you say that, then you're basically saying that women are chronic liars. That all women are chronic liars. Because this is the way that we lie. We lie through the looks. This is the most common way that women lie is through the looks. Not just the makeup, not just hair, not just whatever else. It's not just that. It's all about like appearing as something that we're not. Like even if I'm bothered by something, I'm not going to let you know that I'm bothered until one day I start plotting on you. Trish says, hi Trish, thank you. He said, that's still lying, fam. Keep it 100. I agree. It is still lying, but I don't know if I'd go as far to call someone a chronic liar because of their way of lying. Does that make sense? I'm talking about a form of lying here, not the amount of times that it happens. So yeah. So, thank you, Maximus. Travalo said it's witchcraft. Nonsense, Travalo, nonsense. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, hold on one second. Let me have a sip of water, okay? 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. You guys know I don't drink water on camera from bottles. Okay, so if you guys want to call in and debate me on this, please feel free. The link is in the chat. Feel free to call in and debate me. Female energy, if you are going to stand on your ground and say that, okay, not all women, please call in. I would love to hear from you. We can debate about this if you like. Let me see. Oh, he says, also women wearing waist trainers is false. It is in a way, and I'll tell you why. Because waist trainers do serve a purpose to train your waist, right? Supposedly it's body shaping, and eventually if you wear them enough that your body will naturally start to mold into that shape, right? But if you're wearing it every day and all of your pictures are you in a waist trainer, and when you go out it's always this waist trainer and people are seeing you, and then you're in a relationship, the moment that you take off your waist trainer and everything comes out, it's like, oh my god, I got with you because I thought you were shapely, and you're not. You're really not. You're, what have you. Cora says, all women what? I'm late. Oh my god. So I'm saying that women, the way that we lie is through our looks, and the way that men lie is through their words. Because honestly, I don't see men doing this. And that's what I'm saying. If you disagree, feel free to call in and tell me, no, I have seen men doing this. You're wrong. Women aren't the only ones. I love to hear an opposing view, but I doubt any of you can oppose me. I doubt it, because I have thought about this for a long time. So you can try. What did Gail say? Let me see. She says, women can be very cunning. We all are. Some of us use our femininity for good. Others use it for evil. Females use femininity to skip lines at the club, and some women use femininity to get a husband. Oh my god. I guess, yeah. I can see that, yeah. I can see it. Because, I'm sorry, guys. Because it does make sense that, especially with women, we spoke about this maybe 5-6 shows back on the Lapeef Network. You guys remember JR posed a question to us, like, what are the negative traits of femininity? Like, what are the things that women use femininity for that are bad? And a lot of us brought up abusing men, using the court systems against them, like you say, getting free things that we aren't actually deserving of just because we're using either a sweet, kind voice, maybe showing a little more skin than we should, and just using it to our advantage when truthfully we aren't really like that in real life. That's not really us, but we're acting like this so we can get what we want. So yeah. I can completely see it. Cora says she agreed. Women are very aware of the power we have. Yeah and no, because if women were truly aware of the power that we have as women, you wouldn't see women acting so manly and masculine as they do. We wouldn't see it, because if women actually knew the power that women have as women, the femininity power, they wouldn't see masculinity as the end-all be-all of power. Am I wrong? Let me know if I'm wrong there, because that's how I see it. I don't think that women actually know the power that they have in being just women. Be a woman. That's it. A real woman, and don't try to compete with the men at masculinity because we'll never win. Just like they can't compete with us at femininity, they'll never win. And we have seen many men trying to compete with women in femininity. And oh my God. Oh, speaking of that, guys, did you all see? I believe it was in Sweden. There was just recently a cage fight between a man and a woman. I believe it was in Sweden. They had this mixed gender fighting, and the woman entered the fight completely thinking that the man was going to take it easy on her and she would win based on her being a woman. If you guys see the actual fight, this man destroyed her. He destroyed her. Even Eva and Preach put a small clip in there where the man punched her in her face. Yeah, punched her in her face, and her head went back like this, and she looked around like, oh my God, is this what it feels like to get actually punched? Because she had never actually been punched like that by a man. So I was like, wow, oh my God. You guys saw it? Yes, yes. I'm telling you guys, it was a sight to see. It's just one of those things that you see and you're just like, you feel so good inside. Like I felt really good inside when I saw it. I know Up and Preach said it was gruesome. I was happy. I was like, this is a controlled environment. She's not going to get abused, but she asked for this fight and you're going to get it. And that's how I felt. What about you guys? Larry said he saw it. Yes, yes. It was incredible, guys. So is everyone too scared to call in? Because if you're too scared to call in and debate me on this, then we can just close it out now if you want. Because I want you guys to call in, but it seems like everyone is scared. That means I won. I completely won then. Oh, let me see. I felt happy that strange. It's not strange at all. You know what's really strange? The fact that a woman thought that she was going to win a fight against a man. And she put herself in that situation. That's strange. Not me watching it and saying, we already know what's going to happen. Yeah, right. Let me see. Oh, Cora says, most women are very masculine because it's a defense mechanism. Ultimately, it makes men not attracted to them, and then they don't know why men are only looking at them for a fun time. Oof. Guys, and I don't know, this is kind of like, this is kind of one of those circles. Do you know what I mean? They have those mathematical equations that are impossible to solve because it's like 3x plus 1. 3x plus 1 is an impossible equation to solve because eventually everything goes back to 1. Do you know what I mean? So in this case of you're saying that the women are masculine because it's a defense mechanism and then they don't get picked. And then they wonder why they don't get picked. This is a like 3x plus 1 equation. It's impossible to solve because you have the woman, she feels scared to be alone. Even though she doesn't say she's scared, she is. That's another thing of us lying through our looks, looking like we're not scared, looking like we can handle it, when truthfully, it's the opposite. She looks like this, and then she repels men away from her. The protection that she actually wants and is fiending for, she's not going to get it because she's repelling the men that she's actually wanting the protection from. It's an impossible equation to solve. 3x plus 1. If you guys don't know what that is, I encourage you to look this up. 3x plus 1. Impossible math equation to solve. And then there's another thing. Well, actually, that's in economics. I guess we'll just stay on topic. But if we have an economic live stream, I want to share with you guys the rule of 72 and the power of 72. You can call it the rule of 72 or the power of 72. I want to share that with you guys. One day we can do like how do you say it? Economics. Yeah, kind of like economics stream. And we can talk about that. Because it's a great thing to share with people. Is Ameera pregnant? Why are you asking me that? Oh my God, why? Why would you say that? That's a weird question to ask me right now. As a Muslim myself, I find it strange that you enjoyed seeing someone get what? Getting clobbered? Okay. Whether she knew what would happen or not, it is strange to find joy in someone else's physical pain. We can agree to disagree. You mean you like what you like? I like seeing justice served. I don't know. That's just me. Let me see. Oh yeah, there it is. Thank you. Crypto destroys the rule of 72. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna check it out because yeah, I don't know, but crypto honestly is not stable. It's not a stable thing. So, what do you say? If she's glowing, it's because she got electrocuted a few days ago. I'm blocking everyone today. Everyone is getting blocked. You guys, I'm done. I'm done. JR, close it out. Close it. Oh my God. Okay, yes, I did get electrocuted, guys. I did. And it was horrible. And guys, you know what? I had never been electrocuted before. So it was so freaky to me. I went online and I started figuring out like what I should do. I was like, what should I do? Should I drink milk? For some reason, I thought if I drink milk after being electrocuted, it's going to take away the electric charge. Oh my God. I freaked out. Because honestly, when you're electrocuted, sometimes your heart starts feeling weird. And then I started breathing like that, and I was scared. Service USA says, showing some support and about to catch some sleep. We'll have to watch the replay. US. Okay. Thank you so much. I understand it's Sunday. Everybody is tired. I get it. I'm so tired too myself, honestly. It's been a really long weekend. What'd you say? Volatility destroys the rule of 72? I have to figure out what that is because I'm talking about investments and getting what is it called? God, I can't figure out the word. When you double your investments, that's what I'm thinking about. I don't know about volatility. I'm not sure what that is, but I'll look it up. Drink milk. I seriously thought it would help. Okay, guys, look, don't laugh at me. You guys know, everyone thinks, especially like foreigners, immigrants, we always think if you're sick or something's wrong with you, drink milk. That's what we always do. If something's wrong, we drink milk. I don't know. Guys. Okay, we got completely off topic. I mean, we can stay off topic, but we're supposed to be on a topic here. Grogu says, how do you define a New Age Christian? I believe in eternal security, and I have a huge disdain when believers are passive of things God looks at as wicked. Are we going to do this? I guess we're going to switch topics. Okay, we'll do it. This is what we want to do, so we'll do it. Guys, I explained to the lady that I spoke to about what the New Age Christian is, and my definition, most people agreed with. I'll give it to you. My definition of a New Age Christian is the new Christians that are accepting of almost everything, all in the name of love, and no one can judge me and no one can judge anyone else but God, and this kind of thing. The New Age Christian also is very permitting about the LGBT community in the church. They don't mind people in the church that are not living the godly way, and they just have them all in the forefront of the church, in the front, sitting there. New Age Christian, typically they don't believe in most of the rules that we see in Christianity and most religions. They don't believe in them. They tend to not follow them, and honestly, yeah. And that's what I saw in the other lady. But she said that she said she's not a New Age Christian, and she said that once you are saved, that no matter what you do from that point on, you're going to heaven, and that's all that matters. And she said that, even her getting tattoos, that's okay, because No one can judge. And and I also spoke about dress code inside of the church, because even in the Bible, it tells people how you should dress when you enter the home of God, like the house of God. You're supposed to look a certain way. And she didn't agree with that either. She said, if you wear a skirt that's, shorter than what knee length, does that mean I'm going to hell? And I'm like, that's not the point. It doesn't mean you're going to hell because you wore that. It's having respect for the place that you're in and understanding that the book says that you should do this. And if you're going to follow the book, you should follow all the rules of said book, not just the ones that are comfortable to you. So that's what we were talking about. And I don't know. I just, for me, it's almost like the clothes part, okay, just be modest. If anything, just be modest. I'm not saying that everyone has to cover their head, even though in the Bible it does say that you should cover your head in the church. But I'm not even saying that. I'm like, just at least be modest. Don't have your breasts out in the church and don't have their skirts short. But that's what I saw when I went to the church. So I don't know. Guys. Because, and then, you know what else I've seen? I've seen that outside of churches, they have the LGBT flag flying outside of the church. And I'm like, if, let's say Jesus came back tomorrow. If he saw that, what do you think that he would feel welcomed and say, like, this is what I wanted for my community? I wanted for the Christians. I wanted them to, I don't know. I could be wrong. I think we see things differently. Like, we see God in a completely different way. We don't see him as this all-loving figure that's never upset and is just accepting of everyone, because we don't see it that way. Simon says, could you speak to how the men in your community will respond if an affluent outsider asks for permission to marry a woman from your community? What do you mean affluent? Like rich? He might get assaulted. He might actually get assaulted. He might get kicked in the rear end for daring to think that his affluence would buy him a Muslim wife. Because you're saying he's outside of the community, correct? An outsider? Yeah, if he's not Muslim, he's not going to get anyone's daughters. That's not going to happen. Nobody's daughter is going to be going to him. He's not Muslim, so why would he expect that his affluence would get him a Muslim wife? It wouldn't work. No. So that's what would happen. He'd probably get assaulted, just to be honest with you. Oh, I can share these quick things with you guys before I go. I want to share this with you. I want to share with you guys some rules that we have in some Muslim countries that you guys will probably never have heard of and you never will hear about in America. Okay, you guys ready? So in this country of Saudi Arabia, I'm going to speak about Saudi Arabia just really quickly. Mad Max says, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus dying on the cross actually represents the winter solace. I didn't know that. I mean, I've heard something about the winter solace, and yeah, but the Christians here can maybe answer to you there. I'm not exactly sure about that one. So the rule I want to share with you a rule in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, the men, like when you have haircuts, men are not allowed to cut their hair at different lengths around the head. So in America, you see that a lot of men get short on the side and to the nape of the neck, and then they'll have like long on the top. That in Saudi Arabia and some Muslim countries and some Muslim areas is seen as Western, and it's completely forbidden to cut your hair in that fashion. For men, if you have a haircut, your hair must be an even length all around the head. And also Saudi Arabia, this is only Saudi Arabia, and this is another thing that a lot of people, especially Americans, get confused. They think that the whole Middle East is like Saudi Arabia, which is not true. In the whole Middle East, women are allowed to drive. Only in Saudi Arabia did they recently lift this law saying that women were not allowed to drive. The reason for this law was because women were being attacked in the roads by, like, I don't know what you call them, but they're like men who are thieves. They stop people who are trading, and they'll stop them and rob them and just take their goods. Well, they used to do this to female travelers as well. And this is even before cars were available. Women weren't allowed to just get on a horse and just go to another town. It was just seen as too dangerous. So when cars became about, the women were not allowed to travel that way alone in a car or drive because it was seen as too risky for her health, for her safety. So they said if a woman is going anywhere, she needs to be accompanied by a man, or she needs to have a driver that is a family member or a paid driver to take her everywhere. So this is another rule that has recently been lifted, and a lot of people don't even know it. A lot of people don't know because a lot of people think that, oh, the whole Middle East is like that. And even when this rule was removed, now it's still seen as taboo for women to drive. In a lot of places, women are still not allowed to drive. So, yeah, it just depends on the mentality of the people. And I'm sharing this with you guys for a reason. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to see the mentality and the laws of the land around you. Nothing changes if the mind of the people doesn't change. The law can say that this is legal or illegal, but nothing changes unless the people of the community actually, enact said change. If they don't agree with it and they don't do it, doesn't matter that the law says it, they won't do it. So, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. That's the name. Bandits. Yeah. People who would just steal from you. Exactly. Hold on. The other law that they have that, is very common in Saudi Arabia is that women are not allowed to leave without their husband or a male guardian with them. Now, in 2021, you are allowed to leave your home, but you have to there's an app that we can use on our phones. That they can use on their phones, not we, because I live in America. But there's an app that they can use on their phones now that tells them, that tells the police that their guardian or the men in their family have permitted them to leave the home, and they know where they're going. So a lot of people see this as control over women. Like, this is too controlling of the women. But honestly, it's mostly protection. A lot of the women see it as protection. They don't see it as we're being oppressed or we're being what have you. Yes, there are women that are oppressed in the Middle East. There are women that are forced to do things that they don't want to do. Like, some women didn't want to wear the hijab. Some women just wanted to be modest without having to cover their hair. And now that is very common. You'll see it, but only in city areas. When you leave the cities, all women have their head covered. So, yeah. Yeah, I know. I've heard of that. I know. Yeah. So, I don't know. He says, sounds mad oppressive. Yeah, to a Westerner, of course, it would sound really oppressive, but it's really not. When you're grown up with the culture, it doesn't seem that way to you. You know what I mean? For you, coming from an American lifestyle, coming from American freedom, to you, it will seem like something so restrictive and horrible. But for us, it's not seen as that because we grew up with our families keeping close eye over us. So for us, doesn't feel that way. Let me see. He is the son and not a metaphor. Oh, you're responding to him. Okay. Well, we got completely out of the conversation, guys. So let me see. Let me take a quick moment and I'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, sorry. JR was pulling his beard out and he's mad. So he said that I didn't stay on topic. Oh, God, he's here to yell at me. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, JR. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. You're muted. Oh, my God. I'm going to get
Look at
yelled
me.
at live on stream. Oh, my God.
Oh, you all good.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing phenomenal.
That's good. That's good. So where are you coming from? You weren't here earlier. Where'd you go?
I was here.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been here all the time.
no, I didn't see you. So look, the topic is men lie about, let's see, men lie through their words, women lie through their looks. What do you think about it?
Mm. I think it's some truth to it. I think a lot of men do lie with their words. And so often you have women that lie through their looks. Like you can never really tell exactly what they're thinking, so to speak. So it's a possibility that they can be thinking something else and it actually is a lie. Where they look like they are, what's the word to use? I think we was having this discussion earlier, and I was trying to figure out like how to phrase these thoughts around it. But um, I do know that men lie with their words, and that women you can never really tell if they're lying because their looks can be deceiving. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to get at. But honestly, there's two ways to look at it. I was looking at it from more of a subtle makeup and clothing, but if we go deeper into it, it shows in women's lifestyles. And you know how what we said, how men will lie about their money, how much money they have, or what kind of lifestyle they're living.
Mhm.
While women, they'll just keep it up and try to keep up the appearances, no matter what.
Mhm.
And even when the lie is revealed, women will still try to say that's not true and make you feel crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something that we see often today, where like, women are living their lies. The like the truth hurts them, and when they hear the truth, it's really hard for them to accept it and to be able to swallow what they're hearing right then in that moment. So I do think that women um, like do live in these lies, even though they don't show it. It's all a lie.
Mm.
I think it's got
Yeah.
West just came in.
Oh, here, hold on 1 second. Hi, Wesley. Welcome in.
Thank
You,
you. Happy to
you've
be
never spoken
here.
to JR, have you?
No, he just yells at me in the private chat sometimes.
What's going on, West? How you doing?
Doing fine. So, interesting subject. What's more interesting is that I guess people are afraid to talk about it. So, I guess I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I think everybody, I think if you're going to separate everyone by just males and females, there's a general way that women will lie and a general way that men will lie. Uh, what I have seen in my experiences is that women lie mostly to themselves, and they get mad when the man just is tired of going along with it
Mm-hmm.
or refuses to abide by it. A very common thing that a lot of men go through is when they're trying to date, and like you meet online, you meet through an app because that's the way you do it these days, and then you go meet in person, and it's like, oh, who are you again? Because
Yeah.
I mean, they use a picture they took like 80 pounds ago. And
But
then,
when you think about what JR was saying, like even about the actions and lying about, like, you're feeling a certain way, you're thinking a certain thing, but you don't let it be known. You're hiding yourself through
that
look.
is super frustrating, and a lot of men don't know how to deal with that. So that can drive men up a wall because we want to solve problems. We want to put our hands on it and fix it. We don't want to see our woman in any type of pain or having any issues. We just want to be there to support her, and we feel very a little betrayed, like that she would not just trust us with her problems. And I don't. And that goes back to where women are lying to themselves. They're putting themselves in that scenario that they have to deal with. And see that gets very deep deep into the psychology, and that's probably what might be intimidating some people to come up and talk about it, because it's a lot harder to deal with issues when everyone's mental models are unique to themselves. It's very hard to understand somebody else's mental model. So women dealing with issues that they don't want to talk about.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. JR, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I was just sitting there listening, and I'm just, again, this is really deep because I know it all stems from trauma and basically just someone being insecure. I mean, you even have men that just fake it until they make it, so to speak. So I was looking at it from like the men's side. Men will use their tongue and they'll just like lie, but it's kind of like speaking into existence, or at least they just act as though they're there when they're really not there. So
I spoke about that. I spoke about manifesting, and I saw it more as a feminine thing to do, but the chat corrected me and they said, no, that's an all over thing to do.
what, as far as what?
Manifesting, like how men saying, oh, I'm a millionaire, even though they're not, or
Mm.
I drive this kind of car when it's actually their friend's car, or I can do this thing and I actually can't.
I don't
Yeah.
have the energy for that.
Yeah, it is a lot of energy to fake it to that extreme. But I do think, speaking into existence, like if you was to write something down and actually put it on your fridge, or you created this vision board. I know a lot of women do it, but I'm not opposed to speaking into existence or claiming it, but going that far as to getting somebody else's car or wearing somebody else's clothes and just borrowing things. I mean, that's really, really, really faking it right there.
It happens.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of
yeah.
that is all things in life are a degree, similar to like weather. Cold and hot are just different degrees. So when people are trying to imagine what they want in their lives, there's a difference between wanting something better and hating yourself. So I think a lot of people torture themselves with these dream boards or things that they want, because it's the old parable, grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Hmm.
They want something, and how they implement it is what they put on their dream board. Like, I want this type of person in my life. Okay, you get that type of person in their life, like they're just, they have money or they have great car, but they're really just a crappy person inside. And now you're stuck with that person, thinking that because you got what you wanted is what you really wanted. No, maybe you wanted someone you could feel secure with, but instead you misunderstood what that security was going to be.
So if I'm understanding correctly, you saying that this vision board is just really just like also fake as well. Like they keep putting things on this board, but they're really not doing action. Is that what you're saying?
No, it really is just quite complicated for people to get into. Um, there's nothing wrong with having a vision board. There's nothing wrong with have like a general set of goals of wanting something better in life.
Mm.
When we get too specific and trying to define it, it's like the old trope we see in some campy shows about there's a genie, you get a wish, you get your wish, but somehow they corrupt it. So
Or it's like the wish isn't, it is what you asked for, but you find out that it's not really what you wanted in the end.
no,
You get what
like
you wanted, but you don't even like it in the end.
yeah, pretty much. It's pretty wide open there. If somebody wants a very specific house, and then one day they finally get that specific house, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is a really crappy school zone."
Hmm.
I
But
think the
but
main point
they
is,
wanted the house. They wanted the house because they wanted security for their family. So instead of focusing on I want security for my family, they focus on this house represents the security for my family, and they're only half right.
I think the main point that I was trying to point out is that men and women have different ways of lying,
Yeah.
and that men don't typically lie the way women lie. And the way women lie is through their looks, through even facial expressions, certain clothing, certain anything. But with men, they tend to lie using their words. Now, I don't know what you mean by bringing something into existence that they didn't like, because I'm not sure how that connects with the lying styles.
I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat room is really like guessing themselves.
Hi, Dondrick.
Hello.
How you doing?
On the topic, I think that it's more of a more deep rooted or a deep issue than most people try to put it as. Like they say that it's I understand it's between men and women, right? But there's it's deep in the fabric of what's going on, like the ideologies, right? Marx, Ameera, you know about Marxism, right?
Yes.
So, with that being said, the people nowadays are putting more put way more into physical things than they are actual that people in relationships. I don't believe in the Marxist manifesto or any of the ideologies behind it. I'm full capitalist,
Okay.
but there's some
Dondrick, you have to get to the point, Dondrick.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
JR, be nice.
Man, I'm sitting there trying to follow you, man, but it's like damn.
Lying is a very big subject, apparently.
It's like y'all already deep, but y'all getting deep.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Wes, so much for coming. I'll see you.
I say there's I see, and nowadays people are there's not a secure. It's not a thing about security or protection in the country that anybody can just be protected and do whatever they want to do. Really, there's no incentive to do anything else. They feel like they can just go into a situation and be there at their leisure.
I don't know if I'm following you, Dondrick. I don't know, Dondrick. Sorry, I don't know if I'm following you. I think.
Yeah, I think I got a little.
I'm sorry.
My idea is kind of falling apart. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's cool, Donda.
Hey man, hey JR, stop that.
All right.
Bye.
What happened to what was his name? Wes. I want to talk to Wes.
You want to talk to Wes? Oh, let's see if you can come back. I'll see if you can get back. Hold on 1 second.
Wes, if you out there, come back on. What up, Tondo?
What up, though, family? What's going on? How y'all doing? What's up, Ameera? What's up, JR?
Hey, Anton.
I was listening to y'all on my way from the bar. I was at the bar, chilling. Just got back to the crib. Life is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I wanted to talk to Wes. Yeah, there he is. What's going on, Wes?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm chilling. On your point about vision boards and the things that people ask for and things like that, I think you're a little bit off on it. And I think that the problem isn't what people ask for or envision, it's the things that they pray for and desire, right? So like, for example, the money isn't the issue. The stuff that you get isn't the issue. The people that you get isn't the issue. The neighborhood that you stay in isn't the issue. The issue often at times is the fact that people don't have the character to go along with the things that they require. So like, for example, it's not money that's the issue. It's the love of money that genuinely drive the people to do certain things. Or it's not the fact that you have an awesome person or an awesome wife, is whether or not you have the character. Or let's use fame, right? Fame, visibility, you becoming everything that comes along with it. Most people can't handle it because most people don't have the character to endure all of the access that they then are enabled with. And then it corrupts them, or it helps them to make the wrong decision as to what it is that they do or would do, whereas they didn't have the ability or the access to be able to even make those decisions, right? The money just accentuated, or it made them more of what they already are. So the thing that they should have been praying for and desiring was the character and being able to endure through whatever it is that comes along with the access that you have. It's almost like money, right? A lot of people don't understand that when you get resources and when you get money, the biggest problem isn't even the money. Making the money is easy, right? A lot of our problems come from the fact that it's the IRS, for example, right? I hate the IRS. Like, they are it's the craziest thing ever. It's trying to keep it. It's it's so easy for people to sue you. It's a lot of people come at you as far as, they feel like you owe them something all from your childhood and all of this other type of stuff, or people treat you a certain type of way. It's not the money, right? It's not the resources. It's all of the other things that come along with it that people need to pray for. And most people can't handle it. And that's when I didn't have anything, I was always taught to pray for character. Always taught to pray for character, because you can get anything you want, but whether or not it's going to kill you as a result of it is the thing that we have to take into consideration.
Well, I'm following. I think we're both in the same ballpark. You were able to really verbalize it quite well there. We just had a really difficult subject.
Yeah, I know, because I know you was talking about like The Wishes, right? One of my favorite movies is Aladdin, the cartoon and the other one, right? Mm-hmm. I love Aladdin. And everybody is chasing a genie, and everybody got the same wishes, and everybody gonna wish for more money and power and all of this other type of stuff, right? But the things that I pray for is humility and great character. It's a difference.
I agree with you.
And like, for example, put that up, JR. Put the King's Pawn thing up, right? I'm probably one of the most transparent YouTubers in the freaking history, right? Like, I've shown my bank account, my brokerage account. I did a Miami meetup, right? I literally did a Miami meetup. You can take it down now. I did a Miami meetup 2 days ago because I just got back from Miami. And I had about 12 people there. And so one of the things that a lot of these idiots on YouTube don't understand is that you have to have some level of discretion simply because of the 3-letter gang. Ameera know what I'm talking about. It's some things that you can't talk about or discuss from a business perspective, right? But then I showed everybody in person exactly what my brokerage account looks like. And then I talked about it the next day, and I let people say things, but it's certain things that I can't publicly say. I literally showed exactly what was in my brokerage account. I take people through my rental properties. I have several 5-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom homes. I've shown them on my YouTube channel. I've let people even talk to my tenants and everything like that. But what a lot of content creators don't realize is that the more you show, the more people are going to want to desire of you, right? I'm literally on the phone. I'm doing a live stream. I get a call from my rep, and she like, Anton, listen, I know you pay $45,000 a year for your seats on the floor, right? You paid $45,000, but I want you to get the ones that cost $100,000. What more do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I give you my wife, I give you my daughter, I give you my properties. You know what I'm saying? I've given every single aspect of, I've shown people my bank accounts, shown them my brokerage accounts, which is absolutely insane. But it's the price that come along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at what point do you start to draw back? Because I don't know anybody on YouTube that's been as more transparent as me. It's people that was there that's in the chat. They seen my bank account numbers. They know exactly what it is. But it's almost like, at what point does all of the visibility take over everything, and it then distracts you from whatever your purpose was in the first place, right? The reason why you was being transparent was because you want to give people the blueprint on how they can do it too.
People create their own prisons in their own mind. A lot of people refuse to believe certain things because they don't want to destroy their own mental model or worldview. So I don't see a necessity for you to be as transparent as you claim to be, because I don't care, because you don't pay my bills. I don't.
But see, you are more grounded in a way to where you can actually take the information, or you're willing to have the conversation, right? But it's a lot of people, like you said earlier in reference to your vision board, they need that in order for validation. And it's a difference. Money is a tool. Money shouldn't be the thing that makes you.
Can I speak on something, guys? Because I think this goes back to the main topic where they say like men lie through their words, women lie through their looks. I think the main reason why most people don't believe you, Antoine, is because there's been other men lying through their words, talking about how they live this lifestyle, and it's not true.
But then again, very few of them actually showed you their brokerage account. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to show you.
People will say it's forged. People say
my
that's
brokerage
forged.
account, me signing in. Like JR has been on my live streams. You've seen me plug up my iPhone and type it in and all of that. Like, I mean, but it's just it's weird to me. I don't know, because if you make $100 million, right? They're gonna say, but you're not a billionaire. It doesn't matter. If I show them 3 million, they're gonna say, but you don't have 6. You know, like what's the goal? What's the objective? What's the goal and what's the objective? Right?
To make everyone be down.
The more, but see, the other side of it is the more transparent you are, the more problems that you have also on top of it.
A lot of what people are seeking, a lot of times when people are seeking wealth, it's not the wealth itself that they're seeking. It's a satisfaction or contentness within their own soul. And they think that wealth does that. So the people that are constantly saying, well, I'm a millionaire now, but that's still not enough, that's something they're insecure about within themselves. And if they're not enjoying being a millionaire, then they're not going to.
But $1 million isn't even a lot of money.
Not to you, apparently.
It's not to anybody. I'm telling you, $1 million isn't even a lot of money. Like, if you understand how money works, $1 million is not a lot of money, man.
In this economy?
It's not a lot of money.
No, it's not a lot.
It can go so fast. It goes so fast.
I mean, me personally, like, I don't even put too much power in. I mean, I understand how powerful money is, but I think some people get just sucked in. It's crazy. I mean, they're just money hungry. They just want to do anything and everything for money and don't even understand how money works. Like, you can really get money really quickly. I mean, it's a simple formula. If you just follow the formula, just like credit. If you want good credit, it's a simple formula. And once you figure it out, you can use it to your advantage.
You have to stick to it.
Listen, the idea behind people and what it is that they're chasing, it has nothing to do with the money itself. It has everything to do with the validation from the people in which they're trying to impress. Like, the only reason why people want to be rich is so that they can do things to impress people that don't even like them. Which is one of the issues, right? And that's why a lot of times when I show the money, right, and I show the accounts and I show the transactions and I show the wires, because I use it to invest in other people and invest in people that rock with me and things like that. That's for them. That's not for us. That's not for me. I already got it. That's for them, right? Because then they start to buy in to understand exactly how you got it. It's the story. It's the foundation of why you're doing what you're doing. So now they'll listen to the journey, but without showing them the money, without showing them the properties, without showing them the lifestyle, without showing them the cars, they don't really want to understand how it is that they need to move differently. And then if you stick around long enough, you realize that the goal was never to become a millionaire. The goal was to live in your purpose. And then when you truly live in the way that you're supposed to live, the money just come along with it.
You ever wake up and find out how much money is in your account when you didn't even know? Just day in and day out until one day you turn around and you're like, we're millionaires, but you didn't know. You could have been millionaire a few months already. You didn't even know, because there's no graffiti that comes out, not graffiti, confetti that comes out and say, hey, you made $1 million. You just work.
Yeah, I mean,
doing something.
Being a millionaire don't even mean you got $1 million in your bank account. Being a millionaire has to do with your net worth and your assets.
That too.
Think about it. If you ask women and you ask, it don't matter what color they are, what is a high value man? What does he have to do? Well, he got to make 6 figures. Well, if you make $100,000 a year and you're single, depending on what space you live in, you really only make $67,000 a year. That's how much you're taking home after taxes, FICA, government, federal, state, everything.
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 is really only $67,000. You have to trade your time in for $100,000 to be able to spend $67,000. So the goal isn't to make $1 million. The goal is to be able to buy your time back, A, and then B, because and then B, you want to be able to be in a space to where you can, if you praying for character, you want to be able to leave this earth in a better space had you not been here. And the only way you can do that is with resources. That's really what it comes down to.
So Wesley, what do you think about that? He's basically saying it's not like, as you say, where you just get your dream and then you realize that you didn't like what you got.
What I keep trying to say is that there's what you want, and then there's the perception of what you want. People will pursue certain things thinking that it will provide what they are seeking, but really they're dealing with some sort of internal security. So I think me and Anton are actually in the same ballpark there in trying to say, trying to understand what people are actually trying to pursue, but people that obviously not everyone's able to pursue what they truly want. A lot of people have a hard time understanding what they truly want, and they will go the wrong direction.
Anton says, F your dreams.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in pursuing what you want. I guess that's a whole nother conversation.
It is.
But again, I think that one of the things that you said, Wes, and let's bring it back right full circle when it comes to lying and stuff, right? It's the perception of happiness. But it's a dream soul. And most of the people that have stuff on their vision boards, those aren't the things that they truly know or that they truly want. It's something that somebody taught them that needed to be on their vision board. Most people don't even know who they are, right? We use the things that we want and we use the people that we want to surround ourselves with in order to validate who we are, which then changes our perception and forces us to lie about what it is that we are in order to try to impress other people that don't even care anything about us.
See it all the time.
That's really what it comes back down to.
Yeah.
We lie for other people. We don't lie for ourselves because we seek validation through other means.
Acceptance.
Yeah. Which is
a
why
lot
I tell people to date themselves first, because once you know who you are, then it's easier for you to communicate that to other people, right? I tell people to date themselves first. I tell people to go broke. I tell people to do all of those things because once you get into that space, it's much easier for you to be able to have a conversation with somebody and truly build a real vision board, not based off of what everybody else is doing or what everybody else wants. Sorry, what everybody else wants, but it's much easier for you to have a conversation based off of what the truth is. It's easier to live in the truth once you know what it feels like to have nothing. Then you can really build a vision board.
Intriguing.
But that's just my opinion, I guess.
No, you're on. That's correct. People that live in lies their whole lives, no matter how much money they have, they're still not happy. They have a constant desire to have more and more simply because they think that more and more is going to make them happy. But they constantly deal with an insecurity within themselves.
What's your number, Wes?
Oh God, Anton.
What's your number, Wes?
Question before.
So what's the number that you need in order to just be able to be satisfied? You don't need to make another dollar.
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Oh my God! Don't answer. It's a trick question. Don't
No,
answer.
it's not, because if you don't if you don't know a number, then how do you know what you're chasing?
Oh God.
It wasn't really a number. It was more of
Come
a homestead.
on.
More of a homestead. I wouldn't mind. I would like to live in the woods, just chop down trees and have chickens. Be just self-sustaining.
Okay, I mean that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. See, Ameera, it's not a trick question.
Oh, please. Okay. Okay.
That's bullshit.
Only
No,
reason-
it's not a trick question. It's a rhetorical question. It's designed to make a person think,
Yeah.
because it forces people to try and solidify something they've never tried to solidify. So I keep saying people that are insecure or unhappy with themselves or dislike themselves, they're going to constantly want more no matter how much they have, simply because they think more is going to bring them happiness. So when you ask that person that question, suddenly they have to try and solidify something when they're incapable of doing that.
Well, okay, so if that's your ultimate happiness, then that means that if you got anything more than that, let's just say, for example, somebody gifted you $5 million, I'm assuming that you would give it away.
Who would I give it to, though? That's a good one.
It don't matter. You can give it to charity, you can donate it, you can do whatever you want it with it.
I'd probably do that on a case-by-case basis, honestly.
You would give it all
Fine.
away?
Not all at once.
But you would ultimately give it all away, though, right? Why not give it all away at once?
Because that can cause more problems. There's certain people, like, you can give them enough to solve a certain problem for them. But if you give them too much, they'll drink themselves to death because they
That's
think,
fair.
that's why most lottery winners, or not most, a lot of lottery winners don't know how to deal with sudden wealth, and they put themselves in a much worse situation than what they were in before. And if you know someone that,
Are you afraid
Hold on.
that money would corrupt you?
I think people are already corrupt. Money doesn't make it better. The problem is, if someone truly dislikes themselves, giving them more money will only make their problems worse.
It makes you more of what you already are. I agree with that. But you specifically, are you afraid that,
Am I afraid that money would corrupt me?
like,
Not
an
in a
excessive
bad
amount,
way.
an excessive amount? Do you think you
No.
fall into that category that if you had an excessive amount to be able to do anything that you wanted to do, that would change you from being inherently who you are right now?
It wouldn't change inherently who I am. It would just change how I live my life.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't believe I'm an inherently bad person. I believe myself to be an inherently good person. All I've
No, I'm
really...
saying, but what do you mean by it would change how you live your life?
Oh, well, I wouldn't really have to worry about working too much, but if I'm having too much money that I have to find people to give it to, ways to change people's lives, I'd be able to dedicate more time to that. There's a lot of people that have helped me in my life that I would love to go back and help them in some fashion. And then giving to certain charities. There's certain charities I would never give to, and certain charities that I'd probably love to give to. Like out here in Atlanta, there's a few boys' homes that I've donated a few boxes of old stuff I don't need that hopefully they could use, but there's more I would love to do more for them.
If I had to guess, I think that you would change your mind. I think if you woke up tomorrow and you saw $100 million in your bank account, I think your heart would skip a beat and you would completely change your perspective 1,000%.
Well, I really hope we get to find that out. I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, but
I did change. I would let you know back. Oh, I changed.
Holy
you horrible
shit.
person! You. How dare you? How dare you?
I lied about everything yesterday. It was all a lie.
I wasn't a liar when I said it. But when I
But
saw
I do
$100 million,
think that,
suddenly I was a liar.
I think that normal average people probably lie more than people on any extreme. I think if you are extremely in a bad place, or you're extremely poor, or you're doing really, really well, I think that you're less likely to find yourself in a space to where you're ever having a conversation based off of some kind of false narrative about your life. I think that the people in the middle are the ones that's always inherently going to lie the most. Always.
Of certain topics, yeah.
Everything, Ameera. Everything.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay, why not?
Because you see a lot of a lot of rich people, especially uber rich, you see people lying about many things, like lying about their wealth in a way. There's a superiority complex that we face, that I've seen, that you'll see, like uber millionaires, billionaires. They'll start saying that they're more modest than what they really are. They'll start trying to act like they don't have as much as they do. They act like they're giving to all these charities and they're so good, but they're actually not. And what they're actually doing is using the money that they had to make more money, but they're telling you that they're doing this because they're good people. You see people like Bill Gates, richest man in the world, and you see when this whole COVID thing happened, I know, sorry, JR, please don't pull your beard. But when this thing happened, when this thing started happening, he became the biggest liar on earth. He's talking about, I don't know.
Think so, huh?
I do.
I don't think, but see, you think about it from the perspective of he's a liar, right? I'm thinking about it from the perspective in that the majority of the people can't truly handle the truth.
I see you, devil's advocate. Give me a second.
So, like, I'll give you an example, for example, right? I believe that the biggest problem that we have on this earth is that it's overpopulated. I think that the earth is overpopulated. It's way too many people and is basically collapsing on itself. Now, if somebody of Bill Gates' stature say this world is overpopulated, that's an issue. I mean, that is one of the biggest issues. The more visibility that you have, the less that you can say what you really want to say to the overwhelming majority of the people, especially when you feel as though it's your job to try to solve for the problems, right or wrong, whether they're right, whether we believe that he's doing it the right way or we believe that he's doing it the wrong way. I think that inherently people reject the truth from people that are of an extreme at the
But
top.
that's when your lies get bigger. This is what I'm saying. It doesn't.
No such thing as a bigger or a smaller lie, though, Ameera.
Well, there
A lie
is
a
a
lie.
such thing. There is a such thing as a bigger lie than a smaller lie.
Okay, but think about it like this now. Let's say an everyday normal person. Why do they lie?
Most people lie to not feel embarrassed, to not be ashamed, scared.
So they lie for their own selfish reasons.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's all for themselves.
It's a difference when you lie for your own selfish reasons versus you being in a space to where people can't handle the truth. That's a much different conversation, is my point.
This man,
That's a much different
he's
conversation.
evil. He's evil encapsulated into human
All right,
flesh.
so let me ask you a question. Any leader of the free world, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care what you say. Do you think that they can sit here, have a news conference today, and tell people the honest to God truth about the things that they honestly know, and this world wouldn't absolutely go ape shit and go crazy?
Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. When I'm talking about Bill Gates, I'm talking about lies that people are dying in Africa because of the things that he's doing. And he's
But
acting
again,
like some savior and he's killing
here,
people.
you're missing it though. It's the same perspective used differently. Inherently, when you become more powerful, I believe that people in power don't believe that the majority of people can handle the truth. And I also believe that when they do things, most obviously, not all, and we only using these two people as these two people as an example, they believe that people don't know what's best for them. The reasons that they go about lying is much different than the reasons why an average everyday person will selfishly go about just espousing whatever it is that they feel like people need to hear about them in order to make them feel better about themselves. It's two different types of conversations.
So you're saying that he might actually think that this is for the best of humanity, but humanity doesn't know it. So I'm going to
Correct.
I'm going to hide this because they don't know that what I'm actually doing is for their benefit. That's bull, Anton. I'm sorry. That is bull. The reason I say that is because
how is it bull though? What other reason would he have to lie? Give me one reason. See, we know why regular people lie, mostly. They do it for their own selfish reasons, right? They want to feel better about themselves. They want validation from other people.
So,
you talking about a guy that's, let's just say, one of the top 5 richest men in the world. He don't need a car. He don't need to prove nothing to nobody. He don't need to do anything. Whatever he does, it's a reason behind it. Why would he do anything for any validation from anybody? Think about that.
so
he doesn't want to go to jail.
You really believe that Bill Gates is worried about going to jail, Ameera?
No, not really. But I think that there's a certain level of self-protection that people have, of course. And he's protecting himself from maybe the scrutiny that can come along with people finding out what he's doing, what he has done. Now, this is just one example. Many of the uber rich, like we're talking about extremes, right? The uber rich versus the uber poor. You said they lie less. I say that the lies only get bigger because the smaller lies get caught in the media because they're so big and so visible. So the lies become bigger because the things that they're doing are a lot more sinister majority of the times. And this is what I see with Bill Gates. His father is into eugenics. He's not some innocent little rabbit who was hopping around in meadows and he didn't know that his father was a eugenicist.
But nobody is debating whether or not he lies or not. I'm saying that the reasons why they do things is much different than the reasons why a normal everyday person lies.
I agree with that, but the premise that you said was the people in the uber extremes. Oh, I keep saying uber. The people in the extremes, you get what I mean. The people in the extremes lie less, and that's what I disagreed with. So, yes.
Their reasons for going about doing things is much different.
No matter the reason, it's still.
No, it does. Okay, all right. We had a governor.
Hiding is different than lying. Let me just point that out.
I don't think that they're hiding. I don't think that he's hiding even a little bit.
No, you're talking about hiding information that human society, like humans could not accept. Like, let's say that there's aliens and that the government is actually having a deal with, you know what I mean?
You think that listen,
that's different.
Let's say that's the truth, right? Regardless of whether you believe it or not. Mm. Do you really think that the human population can handle the idea that there's aliens, whether they know it or not?
Should we all get our tinfoil hats?
Do you think that they can actually handle a president coming out and saying that?
The point is, I'm saying that no, I don't believe so, but I believe that America is getting the population ready for it by releasing all these UFO Martian movies. But the point is, I understand that there are reasons to hide that information, but this is outright lies. These are outright lies from the Bill Gates, where people are meeting their maker because of him. They're meeting God because of him. So
I believe that in his heart, I believe that in his heart he feels like he's doing the right thing. I believe that he feels like he's doing the right thing, 100%.
So
1,000%.
Are you claiming that he's lying as a charitable act to humanity?
Correct. In his mind, I believe that he believes that 1,000%.
I would love to show him how charitable I feel about him. Just put me in a room alone. Hi, Devil's Advocate. How are you doing?
I can't wait to see who he's advocating for. And
Yeah,
you're on
right.
mute.
Hey,
Are
you're on
you with
mute.
Anton or you
You're
with
on mute,
Weston or
Devils.
me?
You're on mute still.
Here, can I
I just
unmute him?
Devil
figured
doesn't want him to
that
talk.
I just figured that the name might make people more open to receiving a little pushback on their views, but that might backfire. You know, people might come into the situation ready to fight. You know, like because they know that that they might hear someone that's outspoken. But I popped out to look something up when you guys were talking about like makeup and how women lie about their looks. And when I came back, who was it? Anton was defending his receipts because I don't know if the chat was attacking him or something. So that was weird to like leave and come back.
Oh,
And
the chat is it? I'm not even looking at the chat.
no, I didn't know how we went from women lying about their looks to like you saying
Wes and I were having a conversation specifically. I listened to Wes talk about people in vision boards and things like that.
Okay.
And then I started I always use myself as an example in order to illustrate a point. And that's kind of how we got there. Long story short.
That makes sense. Because when we were talking about that, I hate remembering reading a fact or a study and not knowing what it was, because you know someone's go, well, what was it? What fact was it? What study was it? But like, when you guys moved on to men lying about their wealth, I just wanted to input that culture, in my opinion, culture has not backed up or enabled men more to lie about their wealth, whereas culture completely backs women and normalizes them lying about their looks. So
Say that one more time.
So like how culture has not backed or enabled men to lie about their looks to a higher to lie about their wealth. Yeah. But it's completely thrown its weight behind women to lie about their looks. So, you know, like, you know how if there's a guy, you know, those gold digger prank videos that go viral, you know, when a guy renting, I guess renting's a bad example because renting's normal, but like, I don't think we realize the effects that, that things like makeup and or high heels and provocative dressing has on like young adolescent males, especially in an environment where they're supposed to be learning and focusing on school. Like, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying like for example, I was in like college when I read that I found it. So it's women. There was a study where women stopped men on the street and said, hey, can I ask you a few questions? If they were in flats, like flat shoes, 46.7% of men would comply. If they were in like half heels, 63% of men would comply. In high heels, 83% of men complied. And there was actually one statistic from a video of study. And it was like, I was like, well, what does makeup have to do with changing male behavior? And then it cited a few studies where it was like makeup, it fakes, it exaggerates cues of fertility. It makes women look younger. It makes their noses look smaller, which also makes them look younger. It makes their eyes look bigger. It's not like people that just picked a bunch of random colors. They're trying it's a means to an end, and it changes people's behavior around them. And like women were more likely to get promoted that wore makeup. Like it was ridiculous. So when I hear men lie, women lie, I see a bunch of men who like try voicing your reservations about makeup online. You're going to get your head cut off in the comments by women because it's so normalized now. Whereas if you try, what's the male equivalent? Who normalized what? Makeup?
Who normalized and made that a thing for women to have to wear makeup? Come on.
I can't say men or women. Now, this is supposed to be
why. Men.
I don't think so.
Oh, yes, we have.
Like, okay, so
everything we do is for each other.
I think you're looking at the result though. Like, for example, the women with the makeup and the fake butts, they get more likes on IG, but that's a result though. Like, that's a result of it already being there. Of course, men are going to like it because of what it does to their mind. When they see it, they're like, you know, when physical traits are exaggerated beyond reality, like, you know, like it doesn't look realistic, but they're just exaggerated. Of course, you're going to look at it. Like on the No Jumper podcast, Adam was like, it's like a car crash in slow motion. Like she walks by, I can't take my eyes off of it, but It's
Stop
still
it, bro.
kind of, it's still kind of.
Because if that was the case, then we wouldn't have strip clubs. Come on, man. Come on.
I think
Everything we do is for the attention of women.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with like your
Because
point
we're
about
the ones, when you say society, you have to take that out of context and then say it's men. We are the ones that have normalized what this is, because what we say we desire are these things, and what we respond to is specifically this thing. You just cited the study and said that these are the responses of the men when women do this.
Yes, but I don't want to take agency away from women and say that, oh, I'm sorry, it's our fault.
It's not about taking agency out. We saying the why. Why do women lie? Why do men lie? When you get down to the brass tacks of it, it has nothing to do with taking agency away from women or taking any responsibility away from men. We talking about the brass tacks of why people do the things that they do.
Yeah, no, it just sounds like again, it sounds like you're trying to say it's not their fault, it's our fault that they decide to wear makeup because of X, and that's where you're kind of losing me, because, the conversation.
Why do you get your haircut?
I've worn the same haircut for the past 10 years.
Why do you get your haircut?
At this point, it's what is it? Habit. It's just habit.
Why do you get your haircut, bro?
To save money. I've cut my hair for the last 10 years.
So you only do it just because you've been doing it. That's the only reason that you get your haircut.
It's cooler.
Listen, what are you trying to? We're gonna be real. Let's just be all the way real. Don't respond to support your argument. Let's respond to have the conversation and get down to the why we do what we do. The reason that you get a haircut is because it makes you more desirable. It makes you more hireable. It makes you more desirable to the opposite sex. The whole 9 yards. You do it for other people.
But a haircut is different from makeup, and that's not. I mean, cutting your hair is not, in my opinion.
We're not comparing makeup to haircuts.
You are.
I'm not. I'm giving you a foundation as to the idea that we do things for the acceptance of other people. It has nothing to do with a comparison. Okay, I'm giving you an example in order to illustrate a point.
Okay, and I see where you're going with that, but like I said, it's just my opinion that I'll just ask where's the line at from what's acceptable. I'm not saying makeup shouldn't be acceptable.
That's a different conversation, though.
But if the premise is if they're just doing it for the acceptance of others, then that makes it okay. And that's not what you were saying.
Not there. We are. Every last one of us do it for the acceptance of other people.
Yeah, like
everything you do in your life is for the acceptance of somebody else.
So, like, for example, men will always respond to more skin showing on females, but that doesn't mean that you should just be like, well, you can't blame them for walking around naked. Like there's got to be a line somewhere. And I think
that has nothing to do with the point that I'm making, though, or the point, or the study that you cited.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We get into the why, not necessarily what the solution is, right? The why is that we do everything for the acceptance of other people. Why people lie is for the acceptance of other people. That's the whole point, right? We do things because it's desirable, or at least in our perception, from other people.
But I don't think that women need to wear makeup for the acceptance of other people. I think they know that there's additional benefits that come with that. And I think that ideally,
of course it is. And that's why they do it.
Okay. So I don't see where our disagreement is there, or why you keep jumping from like makeup to haircuts. Like I'm just trying to.
You know why I mentioned haircuts. I use it in order to illustrate a point as to the fact we do things with the desirability of other people.
But cutting
you're smart. You know exactly why I said it.
But cutting your hair, I mean, it's different from faking things that aren't there. A 50-year-old woman putting on makeup. Have you seen the TikToks where the 50-year-old women will put on makeup?
I don't have TikTok. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm sure there's YouTube videos too. They went viral.
I don't watch those type of YouTube videos. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, they're not hard to find.
Honestly, I don't watch those type of
YouTube. See, and you tell me not to be difficult for the sake of your argument.
I don't watch those type of YouTube videos.
That's fine, but you know they're out there.
I don't watch those.
And then
my YouTube algorithm is literally about Eric Thomas. It's about bigger pockets. It's that type of stuff. That's what
So then if I hadn't seen the video, I'd have taken a step back and been like, okay, can 50-year-old women put makeup on and look 20? Is that the same as cutting your hair?
I have never seen a video of a 50-year-old woman trying to put makeup on, trying to look.
I'm sure the people in the chat have it. I'm sure the people know that makeup makes
having
you
a conversation.
look younger.
I'm not paying attention to the chat. This is just me.
He's happily married. He doesn't watch those videos.
Why would I watch that? Don't pay attention to the chat. Let's just kick it, me and you. Bro.
I know. But I'm saying like faking that you're half your age is a lot different from cutting your hair, and we can get away from the hair cutting example. I just think that makeup, I mean, to a certain degree, there are studies that show it affects male behavior. Same with the heel example that I used. And I think past a certain extent, it's not really healthy, especially in an environment where people are supposed to be.
What's the line?
Wait 1 second, guys. I got to do something really quickly. I need to move the board around because we have some people. Wesley, thank you for joining us, but we got to get some more people in, okay?
You want me to drop off, Ameera?
No, you're fine. I need to add just one more person.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Okay, continue.
So I was just saying that I don't know where the line is. I'm 30. Like, I'm just here to ask the question. Like, I don't have all the answers, but I'm just saying that there are studies that show that it changes male behavior, sometimes in unhealthy ways. Is that our fault? Is it the woman's fault? I don't know. Where should the line be? I don't know. But I just wanted to cite that study and see what you guys thought about it. Like, I'll let you guys get a response. I've been kind of talking a lot, but the studies that they cited were pretty. I mean, I had no idea. I just thought that girls wear makeup because they're girls and didn't really think too deeply about it. But then when I see things like that and think about how it could give them an advantage in the workforce from giving them an advantage to controlling male behavior more easily, like then I started to notice things like, for example, in college, me and my girlfriend were going to have the breakup talk. And she came over dressed to the nines, the summer dress that she knew was my favorite, makeup like done up all perfectly like she liked. I started to notice things like that. I see Ameera, like, oh shit, like, because some women will do that. Like,
well, yeah, I mean that's what it's about. It's about lying. Yeah. This is what the stream is about.
Exactly. And so like I'm sitting there thinking relationships should be about how well you get through the lows, not like how turned on I was when we had the conversation about should we be broken up. And obviously, as a guy, you need to see through that. You can't be controlled by those things. Like, I'm not trying to take accountability away from men, but you do have to notice these things, like these trends. So
thank you so much, Devil's Advocate. You have been a Devil's Advocate today. I appreciate it.
I think so.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. I'm going to have one more person in, and Jay. Welcome, Jay, and Red Femme Diaries.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey. So what do you guys think about the topic? What do you think about lying? And what do you think about what Anton has to say about F your dreams? I'm joking. No, what do you think he has to say?
I love when Anton said that. I love that shit. Oh,
I love it too.
My bad, y'all. But for the two topics, for the first topic, women lie, men lie. For me, that's pretty simple. That's just biblical. Eve was in the garden and she found plausible deniability, and that's how women lie. Men lie out of utility, or in the pursuit of women. I think that was kind of the angle Anton was going. That's pretty simple for me as that goes. But the other thing that I was going to talk about was the whole Bill Gates thing, or the whole, not even like Bill Gates, but just overpopulation in general. Like, I don't think that's for any like one person to be able to decide or to have a influence on society. Like, that's like, I don't know, that's just crazy to me. It just sounds crazy to me for to be like, you're a success as Bill Gates or as Anton decides, like, to be able to think, oh, the world is overpopulated. And not to say having the thought is bad, but to say that being able to put things into practice because of you feel like the world is overpopulated. That's like a God decision to me. That's not that's a God decision.
Let's play God every day. That's who we are and what's in us. Every day, every last one of us, in some way, shape, or form, plays God.
I'll give you that. I'll say that there's a scope of God that you can play, and then some things flying too close to the sun. That's flying too close to the sun.
I don't believe that. I believe that with every bit of power that you have, especially people that have done things in this world to get to certain levels, I think that inherently you find it, you truly believe that it's your responsibility and that you've been given that for a reason. I don't think that you just feel like you lucked up on it. I think that the reason why they say with more power comes more responsibility is your ability to be able to make the tough decisions that you don't believe that other people can make, which is one of the reasons why you're in the position that you're in. So ultimately, I just think that I believe that you, wherever you are in life, however it is that you live your life, if you had got yourself to a space to where you had control, the level of control and the level of power of some of these billionaires, I think that you would exercise it based off of whatever your ethical reasoning, whatever you believed in life. I believe that you would still be exactly who you are, just to a larger level. I think that most people can't imagine it because they don't have that level of power. But I do believe that every single person that gets to a certain level exercises it to an extent. It's the reason why you see, for example, Donald Trump ran for president.
Okay.
Why would a person put themselves to that level of scrutiny when they already had a great legacy?
Hubris.
They already can exercise a level of power just through their resources, their network, and their everything like that. Why would you put yourself in a position to go through that level of scrutiny?
Hubris, like your own ego. That goes to the flying too close to the sun. It's not like he didn't have material advantage out of it from, you know, what he did, like from his own personal business being amplified because of it. Not to say that he didn't take losses too from his popularity or whatever, but that'd be its own kind of like separate debate. But
no, 1 second, Jay, I want to point this out. If someone wanted to protect their ego, they would not put themselves on the chopping block. You know what I mean? If you're protecting your ego, you're not going to do that. That would be a contradiction.
You think Donald Trump protects his ego, or he just tries to inflate it as much as he can, despite whether or not it's going to affect?
I don't think it has anything to do with ego whatsoever. I don't think any person that has become a billionaire that decides to run for president, to know the level of scrutiny and the fact that you're gonna get killed and lambasted, because you got to remember these people are still
heavy as the crown. Shit, I meant, oh my bad.
No, I mean heavy as the crown, but at the same time, still, in order for you to go through certain things or do certain things or put yourself in a line of fire of certain things, you have to truly believe something or believe that you can change the trajectory of something outside of whatever it is that you've already accomplished. Okay. You're not doing it just to do it. You're doing it for a reason. Listen, I agree. You're talking to a person that believes that Thanos is right. I believe that the Avengers were the bad guys and that Thanos is the good guy. I believe that in my heart. I believe that, but the problem is that the Avengers actually think that they're the good guys and they truly believe that Thanos was the bad guy. Because every bad guy truly believes that they're the good guy. They think that they're doing it for the right reasons, for a real purpose.
Let me say this. Okay, I don't think Thanos was the bad guy, but I don't think that's one of those situations where I can't make the Avengers the bad guys too, because the thing that they're protecting in how it relates to this conversation in particular is that why does he get to decide, just because he has the power to do it, to end half of what people are, especially if all those individuals are also a product of God or whatever. He has power. Like
but how are they any different?
It's a self-eating snake. Like, go ahead.
How were they any different when they had infighting in that they were the exact same thing as him, except for they were on a smaller scale, which was one of the reasons why Captain America and Tony Stark had the problems that they had, and they divided because Tony Stark said that we need something that was going to oversee and make sure that we continue to go down the path that we're going to go down as humans. And Captain America had a completely different perspective. It's the same thing when you really take it and look at it in its full context as the thing that they were fighting against when as far as Thanos. All of them played. My point
chaos is chaos. Shit.
My point is
I keep cussing. I'm sorry, y'all.
Every last one of those people played God at some point. They wanted to determine the fate of what the human race was going to go through. Every last one of them.
So they were all wrong.
No, they're all right because we all are many gods. That's what we do.
All right, we're all many gods, right? We're all mini gods, but there's like levels, there's structure to it. Because what you're describing, like I was saying before, chaos begets chaos. There was chaos from the Avengers, there was chaos from what Thanos was trying to do. And that's, conflict is gonna beget chaos. But to bring it back a little bit to even a different point where you said that you don't think people on the base level understand will be able to get how you would have a scope of overpopulation at a higher level of success. I think everybody understands that to some level, because specifically, here's how I grew up. I'm not gonna put it on everybody. I'll say how I grew up, and whoever can relate. I grew up with my mom saying this: I brought you in this world, I could take you out. She was responsible for me, and I understood at 8 years old there wasn't gonna be no child protective services I could call fast enough for my mom to come get me. You feel me? So when it comes to that, it's like that responsibility. She made me. She feels responsibility that she could take me out. And then there's no law that, even though there's child abuse and all that other stuff, that's gonna beat past what my mom could do. Like, kids don't tell their mom about beating them to no police because of that factor. It's like, this is the person who is primary to me. Now, what level of success gives you the power of what your mom said, what your dad said? When you look at your kids and say this, like, you're going to listen to me or else. Like, you feel me? Like, it's the same thing when it comes to overpopulation. They don't have that power.
I don't think it's
Bill
what
Gates
Anton is saying.
can't make that decision. I'm using that to illustrate the point, though, because it's like, I think that just combats the point that he said, where it's like, he doesn't think that people on a ground level will understand the overpopulation from this level of success. On some level, people do understand. And the thing is that's why it scales up, because from Bill Gates standing up there saying, oh, the world is overpopulated, and I feel responsibility to do something about it. What is it that is like, how do we know the difference between him and like God as a concept versus the God and him deciding that, and then he just gets to decide that?
That's for up to
he's one man versus the overpopulated world. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Hold on a second. Look, I'm saying this is the responsibility of individual people. I think what Anton is saying is logically sound. The people at the top, yes, they're going to think whatever they want, and they can use their power to do whatever they want, just like many gods, if they please. But we as individuals, we shouldn't just sit and let ourselves be pawns as well. We have to be informed about what they're doing and combat it. It is a war between, like, as you guys say, Captain America and Avengers, and it is a war. This is a real war. It's us against them, essentially, at this point, because they have the power. But what do you think, Anton?
I believe that inherently we don't like to accept the idea that other people make decisions on our behalf. We don't like it at all. And I think that given the opportunity, the majority of us will choose wrong for ourselves. The more freedom that we have, the worse decisions that we make. But ultimately, every last one of us judge each other. Every last one of us make a decision on what's right and what's wrong. Listen, we sit here and we have a conversation about whether or not abortion is right and abortion is wrong, to determine whether or not we should be able to take a life, determining whether or not capital punishment or whether or not we can execute a prisoner based off of the severity of his crimes. We're all playing God in one way or another, but we just don't like it when we don't have control over what happens to us, which is why people then reject those that have a significant amount of power making decisions based off of how they feel the world should go. We're all doing it. We just don't like when it happens to us on a larger scale. That's the reality of it. We like the perception of choice. We like the idea that we think we're choosing for ourselves, when in reality we never have been, we never will be, and we're all in some way, shape, or form playing God over somebody else in another way. It's just the reality of it.
I agree that we like it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ameera.
No, I'm sorry. I was saying thank you for the super chat. You guys can finish.
Oh, I almost lost what I was saying. I mean, I agree with what you're saying as a point. I guess it's gonna make me ask the question of just like, yeah, we like to, but someone's gonna be right and someone's gonna be wrong, and at that point, it becomes
according to what? How do we determine what's right and what's wrong? We've evolved over
what's in the best interest of.
Year. No. That's not true. Because every single year, excuse me, every single year, every 100 years, every 1,000 years, we evolve with what we think is right and wrong. What we thought was right and wrong based off of how we establish our laws today is much different than what we thought 100 years ago. is much
Right.
different than what we thought 10 years ago.
Right.
So even the things that we determine is right today, tomorrow we'll determine that they were wrong anyway. So how do you sit here and make a decision based off of a godlike complex, small or large, and then be able to definitively say, I'm right, you're wrong?
Negotiation.
No, negotiation has nothing to do with right or wrong.
Really?
It does not even a little bit.
All right. So here, okay, something that's right today. Matter of fact, I'll just go kind of like Jordan Peterson. It's like the Bible. Something that's right today, or for whatever reason, it's right for a reason, and that's what you have to carry forward from
Right,
when
because that's what the majority of the people embrace at the time.
That's what bred success.
No, it's not.
For them, that's what bred success for the majority of people at the time. It would be that. It would be more specific than just the people decided it, because they're deciding it for a reason. It's not like, oh no, we're going to decide on the invention of waffles or whatever. It's going to be, how do we survive? How do we get through the desert? You feel me? What are we doing in the desert for 40 years?
To do with your moral compass. Your comfortability has nothing to do with your moral compass. What makes life easier for you has nothing to do with whether or not you think is right or wrong.
What makes life easier for you has nothing to do with.
We make our determination based off of what makes our lives easier, not based off of what we think is right or wrong until it's on our doorstep. Everybody embraced, for example, opioids. Nobody complained about it. Most of the time when we have conversations about women, we say, well, they're old enough to make their own decisions. When I made the argument and I say, okay, but with more power, being a man, right, having more money, more resources, that I have to not only take into consideration about what I think, but I also have to take into consideration how I affect other people. You know what people said? They rejected it. They say, Anton, you wrong. As long as they're an adult, they should be able to make their own decision. But when I say that with more power comes more responsibility, more power comes with more responsibility, they reject it until it's on their doorstep. When the opioid crisis started touching doorsteps of people that they didn't know it touched, then people started getting concerned. Then they started wanting action. When a drunk driver drives down and they kill that woman's son over there, then she becomes a part of GLAAD or Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Nobody cares until it's on their doorstep. People live and they invent things and they embrace capitalism based off of how it makes their lives easier, not based off of their moral compass, is what I'm saying.
Say that last part again, but not based on a moral compass. You said people live their lives
off their moral compass, right? We don't go to the grocery store and say, I'm not going to buy that plastic bottle because we know that the ocean is filled with a ton of plastic, right? We don't care about what happens after we throw it in the trash and we dump it in our dumpster. We don't care about this third world country over here and that they have a desert filled with a trillion clothes that people discard every single year. We don't concern ourselves with our impact on the earth. We don't care about how much gas we use and whether or not we eat meat and whether or not the methane that comes along with us farming animals for human consumption and what that's going to do to the people 100 years from now. We're not concerned about that. We're not making decisions based off of what's best for everybody. We make decisions based off of what makes us comfortable today. It has nothing to do with our moral compass or our ethics at all.
All right. Something about when you say that part is what confuses me. I'm catching it right now. I'm going to ask a question, and maybe I'm probably missing something. Earlier in the stream, you did say something to this effect. Hopefully, I'm not just reaching too far back on some BS or whatever. But you said something to the effect that stuck with me that I felt like I could relate to. You said you pray for character. You asked Wes the question, I think it was. You asked Wes, and then you said you pray for character and humility.
Correct.
And it says, like, if you're praying for that, how do you reconcile that with your desire for comfort? Because the $1 million that people ask for when they get that genie, that's to make their life easier today, like you're saying right now. How do you reconcile that with saying, most people
that's not asking for character and humility? Listen, when I tell people to get to the bag,
I see where I was. I see what. Okay,
anybody can tell you. When I say let's get to the bag, and JR, you see me on my show every single day, I say I'm not talking specifically about money. I said, I'm talking about you living and doing things based off of exactly what it is that you're supposed to do. And that's why I say I don't rock. I don't rock with everybody. I only rock with people of good character, right? Because if you do what you're supposed to do, it's a reflection of the thing that you're advocating for. For example, I live based off of the Bible, and I say, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else is going to be added unto you. So if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm working and I'm grinding, and I'm getting to it, and I'm taking care of business, I understand that the money is going to come along with it anyway. So when I'm telling you to get to the bag, I'm speaking figuratively, and I'm telling you to get on your grind, get on your purpose, be the man that you're supposed to be. And then that's going to be the thing that generates the revenue, and you don't have to worry about the money. It come along with it.
Right. Okay.
So I don't have to pray for money. I pray for good character. I pray for humility. I pray for great work ethic. And I understand that the money and the women and everything else is all going to be on my at my doorstep for me to say yay or no and have it as a part of my life regardless.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. I'm going to hop off soon. I don't see, the only thing I didn't get from, I mess with a lot of what you say, especially that F Your Dreams. Like, I don't know how many comments I wrote. When I seen that, I wrote like maybe like 6-7 comments. That's a whole other conversation though. But like a lot of things you say, I do mess with. The only thing from this part I didn't get was I still can't get on board with the getting to the point of overpopulation. I think that's a bit extreme for any one man to, or any group of highly successful people to reconcile themselves for. I think that's how you cause the drag down of the dragging of the nobles through the mud and humiliating them. That's how you know, that's how George Floyd happens. Is like that causes a breaking point. Believing in that. That's my opinion. What else? That's a dope beard. You and JR. Shit, I don't know what else to say. So I'm just I'll sign off on that note.
I appreciate it.
Ameera, you sure you don't want me to jump off? Because I feel like I'm hijacking your show right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I am enjoying this. This is our last guest. So you might as well just get to the end now. You're already here. So this is our last guest. So this is the end. Hi, Cuban Libertarian.
Hi, Ameera. Hi, JR. Hi, Anton. How's it going?
Hi, my friend. How you doing?
Excellent. Great discussion. I have a couple of disagreements with Anton. Number one, the over.
Join the club.
Hey, I mean, your
what a
patron,
surprise!
Anton, so it's all good. It's just that the overpopulation bit. It gives me the heebie-jeebies because all the people with all the agendas for 2030 and all the Build Back Better and all these other type of things also believe in overpopulation and climate change and all these other things. So it just raises the hairs in the back of my neck. And also, I mean, there's so much space, especially in America. I think I could agree with maybe overpopulation in metropolitan areas, where people are kind of living like little, I don't know, hamsters or like pigeons in like these buildings.
Cuban, when they speak about overpopulation, it's not necessarily areas. What they're talking about is resources. The planet's resources cannot
That's why we have advancement in technology. Like, that makes no sense. We have hydroponics. We have the advancement, like 3D printing. We have so many things that are constantly happening. It's the same thing that happened with the Luddites that destroyed like the looms, like back in England, I think, when people invented the loom, and then like they put a whole bunch of knitters out of business because people were like looming the sheep's wool. It's like, it makes no sense, or
they're talking about garbage. Think about how much garbage the average family, just one family, expels a month. And then you have every single family. So with the population, it's not just about space, because spatially we have lots of space from our humans. We're talking about the maintenance of humans, our waste, how much we expel plastics, clothing, gasoline, everything that we use has to go somewhere. It doesn't just disappear into the atmosphere. So this is what they're talking about when they're talking about overpopulation.
Basically, my contention is that technology will take care of it, like it's done. We just have to get out of the way of technology, like stop regulating so much so that we can get down to business, Right, look at nuclear energy. Like there's the next level will be able to use the waste, nuclear waste as well. And number two, Anton, you were talking about Bill Gates and powerful people basically lying to the normal folk. And the way I see that is that, it's called hubris, right? It's a sin. Just because you are better, let's say, in a lot of areas, right? Because it's a meritocracy, right? Or it's just human, or it's just the state of nature. You're obviously have the ability to accumulate resources. You have a network, etc., etc. You are maybe even a higher IQ. Fine. And then you think that you know better. In a lot of cases, that is the fact. However, you run the risk of just taking us over the hill or over the cliff, excuse me, into like perdition.
Can I ask you a question, Cuban?
Go ahead.
People can't even accept little old Anton Daniels jumping on a platform and saying what I want to say on YouTube. What makes you think that they're willing to accept even being able to have a conversation? I'm not even talking about accepting what they say. I'm talking about even having a conversation. Most people find it difficult to even be able to have a conversation with me. What makes you think that they take into consideration anything that somebody like a Bill Gates would say that goes against whatever it is that they believe and they think?
Okay, I gotcha. I don't think that they can at this moment. And I am of two minds when it comes to the idea of whether we should have a conversation or not. For example, the IQ question, right? Do we really want to go there? Because it predicts a lot in life. But if we actually had that conversation, like there's some fields of knowledge that maybe we shouldn't touch. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that question. So I'm not saying that people are ready to accept whatever weird secrets, the Illuminati have. But what I'm saying is that the Illuminati can also be wrong and just kill everybody, like just because they think that they know better. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. And oh yeah, don't. How do you say that thing from the Bible? Don't throw pearls at pigs or something. Yeah. Man. We're both going about.
Don't throw your pearls to swine.
Exactly, man. You can't. Some of these swine are never gonna get it. Some people are just low IQ. So don't even talk to them.
But you don't try to throw it to the swine. They just decide to show up on your live stream and they just be in there with all of the rest of the people that you actually rocking with.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying?
They enjoy the smoke. They do. They love it. They love the smoke. But in that case, then yeah, just barbecue them. But yeah, man, you're right. Like most people, especially when you're leveling up and everything, you say it one time and then and they say, oh no. This happens to some Cuban friends of mine. They're leveling up, and then their family members are like, "Oh, that's just you. You got lucky," and like it just like irritates them so much. And I tell them, just let them go. Just let them go. It's okay. They'll come around eventually, or they'll just pilfer out. It is what it is.
But Cuban, yeah, man. The beautiful thing about it though is, I got my own little army. And it's growing exponentially. I have an army that I put together, and it is absolutely one of the most fierce, awesome group of people. That's all right. We're going to take over the world. Me and my own little Avenger clique. We're going to take over the world. Except for we're going to be on the side of Thanos.
Pull up. I believe it, man. I'll be there too, bro. I put up my subscription product as well, like you told me. So we'll see how that goes, man. Thank you, Ameera, again. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Let's go, Brandon. And 110%.
Yes.
And stay tuned tomorrow for Cuban news. There's gonna be protests, so let's see what happens over there in the island. Thank you, guys. JR, keep making those shirts, man. And love you guys.
Thank you, Cuban. Good night.
Thank you, Cuban.
Good night.
All right.
Guys, tomorrow there's supposed to be a lot, not just tomorrow, but this week is supposed to be a crazy week of, it's supposed to get crazy this week. Let's just leave it there.
Is it really? Wow.
Yeah, because Rittenhouse is going to be, verdict is going to be this week.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting.
It is. It is. What made you come on, Anton? What were you doing?
I was, I'm always watching you, and I'm always, checking it out. And I seen you and Jr. was on here, and y'all was vibing, and I was at the bar, and I was listening to it with my headphones as I was picking up our salads and stuff like that. And I said, when I get to the crib, let me see what they talking about. When I seen Wes on, and he was talking about, because usually last few weeks I just been watching and observing. I've been watching you and Reva and everything like that. And when I seen Wes on, and he was talking about vision boards and things like that, I said I'd like to have a conversation with him, and it just went from there. So
he was speaking about something that a lot of people think, Anton. A lot of people think, okay, you want your dream, but once you get your dream, you realize that it's not really a dream. And I don't know if I agree with that, because I think, it all depends on you. It all depends on what you're doing. I don't think it's because of the dream. It's because of what you're doing with it.
I believe that also. I mean, I think that I'm living my dream, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, me and my wife and Rita, we were sitting there. We were going over all of the things that we wrote back when we were in high school, and the things that we wanted to accomplish, and every single thing that we was ever written down, every prayer, every New Year's thing that we've ever written, every single thing that we've written down on those lists has been crossed off. So it's absolutely awesome.
That's beautiful.
I think life is good. I wake up happy every morning. I'm excited. When me and you even talk and we have conversations on the phone, it's like we're excited to just have those conversations. So life is absolutely awesome. It could be a nightmare, but it just depends on the mindset that you have. You're right.
Yeah, I love speaking with other positive people. I think this is the reason why our network, like, we can speak to each other, and it's always so uplifting. It's not something where I just feel dragged down, or even if I feel bad, I call on you guys. I count on you guys too. So I appreciate it, like I said.
We got your back. You know that.
Yeah.
Yep. Certainly.
Certainly. So do you guys gonna get ready for the week? Go to sleep?
Nah.
Not me.
More work.
Yeah, I mean, that's all me and JR do is work.
Yeah.
More work. But yeah, it was a great show, Ameera. Appreciate you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go take a hot bath and maybe stay there for an hour, and then I'm gonna bed.
Yeah. We're living a good life. All right, good night.
Good night, guys. Let me close out.
All right.
Bye-bye, JR.
All right, see you later. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.